I'm going to do a quick get ready with me. I don't normally do get ready with me's. I normally do tutorials, but it's kind of like that, but with a tutorial, obviously. I'm going to pick between these two palettes, which I had to fix. Okay, I had to fix them. Like, look at that. I had to fix that. Look at how depressing that is. I repressed it very carefully, and I just stuck my finger in the blue. Oh my God. And then I had to repress this one. This shimmer had exploded everywhere. And this blue also was broken. So I'm thinking, what am I in the mood for? Am I in the mood for green? Green and blue? Or this? Ugh. Decision, blue. Not a hard decision, I'm gonna be honest. So we're just gonna get ready as quickly as we can because I have to leave by 12:30, I think, and right now it is 11:48. Yeah. So I'm going to prime my eye, and I'm gonna do the same thing as always because if I make a mistake, it is so much easier just to fix one eyeball, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm using my new About Face primer, which actually I think has become my favorite primer within just a few uses. I'm gonna be honest. New brushes. Yeah. These are from, JC Cosmetics. And I picked them from the picture because they reminded me of my Sigma brushes that had gotten stolen. Like the size of the brushes and everything. And then some of them were actually like a lot smaller. What do you mean smaller? I mean smaller. Smaller than my Sigma brushes in the sense of the size of the brush. Like the diameter or the circumference of the brush itself, which was a green flag for me. These are some of the brushes in question that I'm talking about. And like, look at the size of this crease brush. Look how small that is. Look at this guy, tiny, flat. Look at this, but it's so fluffy at the same time. Yeah. So, what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is use my JC Cosmetics brushes and we'll see how they go. I'm thinking blue and sexy, okay? So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I am gonna start with the shade Ribs. And I'm going to start applying that kind of here on the inner corner. And kind of what I like about these palettes that you're seeing that I'm using, they're Sea Beauty palettes. I will put the name in the maybe the description box or somewhere on the screen, something of the palette. I don't know the name of the palette off the top of my head. I will have to go back and look because it's all in Chinese, okay? But the pigmentation, unmatched. I think it was like 30 bucks for this palette or less. Unmatched. What do you mean? Look at that. Look at the pigment. So, and I like these brushes. Wow. They're giving me the precision I'm looking for. Like, I don't have to worry about over applying product. I like that. That is beautiful. I'm going to go in with Klein. Yeah, we're going to go in with Klein. And we're going to press that here. Yeah, that looks nice. You know how hard it is to get a really nice blue pigment like that? That's actually really beautiful. I'm stunned. Yes, these have fallout. Does it bother me? No. You know, they're kind of giving more like a pressed pigment vibe than they are giving like an eyeshadow vibe. Like, I feel like an eyeshadow has a lot more binders that give it a different kind of texture. This has quite a bit more kickback in the palette, which makes me think pressed pigment, which is totally fine by me. It means that I don't have to work as hard to lay down the color or get the pigmentation that I'm looking for, and I'm here for it. And I'm thinking I'm gonna zoom you guys in, actually. Better. And you can see a lot better what I'm doing. And I'm using this tiny little crease brush. She doesn't have names for any of these brushes. It's just a very tiny pointed crease brush. It's not quite a pencil brush because I feel like a pencil brush is much firmer. This isn't a firm brush. It's a fluffier brush. Okay, I might order more of these actually, like, hi, hello, JC brushes. I'm gonna take the shade Lamb next, which is that kind of like pool water blue. And I'm going to press that over the top. And it's good to know that when I repressed them, it did not ruin the eyeshadows. That is an amazing thing to know. I wasn't sure how well they would apply after that, because, you know, sometimes when you have to repress things, it can change up the formulation. It might not perform the same. This is, I mean, I don't know how it would have performed before, but this works for me. It's fine for me. Yeah, and I think I'm going to bring that blue all the way into the brow bone, because why not? Yeah. Yeah, that's looking nice. It looks beautiful. Press and then slightly buff a little bit. Yeah, this looks pretty. Yeah. I'm going to go back in with the shade Klein again, just to kind of add depth back in where I kind of lost it a little bit. And I want this, I always go for like a pointed outer V situation. It just looks the best on my eye shape, I'm going to be honest. All right. Like so. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, trying to follow the natural crease that I have, like so. Beautiful, gorgeous, looking amazing. All right. And I'm just gonna kind of like press that a little bit. For my hooded eye girlies, make sure that you try to keep your eyelids at rest as much as possible. When you do this, you're moving it out of its resting position, and it will completely give you a distorted, like, finished look. Like, it's not gonna lay where you want it to. So you need to make sure to like drop and relax your eyes and your forehead so you can see where that's gonna actually lay. Like, look at that to that. Yeah. So, like so. I'm just gonna buff this edge one more time just to blend the colors together, which is looking phenomenal. These blend like a dream. I wasn't expecting it, okay? Like, I have been using a couple C Beauty palettes, but now I'm just like, okay, am I like a permanent convert? Because they're amazing. What do you mean? Now I'm thinking shimmer. I want a fun shimmer. I'm doing shimmer. I'm doing both shimmer. You know what? I'm going to do both shimmers. Why wouldn't I just do both shimmers? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pick up with this JC brush. It looks like a concealer brush or a packing brush, like for primer. And I'm going to pick up the shade Genie. She's beautiful. And I'm just going to apply Genie on the lid. Holy shit balls. That is beautiful. That's stunning. Oh my god. Yeah. So that's Genie. Wow. That's really beautiful. And I'm really not applying a lot of product. It just is like, I don't know. It's just super pigmented. I don't have another like word for you besides mega pigmentation, to be honest. The only word I have is stunning. Beautiful. Gorgeous. All right. And then before I move on to the next part, I'm kind of noticing something that I want to do here. I want to take the shade Twilight on an angled brush, which is like a very dark midnight blue. And I just want to kind of pack that here on the inner corner a bit, just to add a little bit more dimension than I had before. Yeah. Just a touch. Nothing too crazy. I just want a little bit more intensity than I was seeing. It helps give better shape and volume to the look. I love a good multi-dimensional look. I don't know who doesn't, to be honest. That is beautiful. The next shade I'm gonna pick up, oh, I like this brush too. What the heck? Okay, the shade Fairy. And I'm going to lay down a little bit more primer here under the eye. Yeah. So I'm going to take the shade Twilight and I'm gonna stamp that on the lower lash line like so. I want to create dimension and shape again. And I want to define this area, this lower lash line. And I want to smoke it out. I don't always do bottom lash looks, but when I do, I love them. They're one of my favorite things. We're going to take that shade Klein, which is a little bit brighter, and we're just going to buff that right over the top, okay? Right over the top. Make it super smoky right here. All right. And I want to make sure it all connects, okay? We want a connecting eye look. Then I'm going to take the shade Lamb and I'm just going to kind of dust that on the bottom around the eye. Like so. And then when I go to put on my concealer and all that, it'll blend perfectly. You'll see. You will see. And I'm just going to go back in one more time just to make sure that it's all looking blended and diffused and that I didn't lift any of the pigment. I want to make sure that I still have the right dosage, if you were, of pigment under the eye. Dosage. Whatever. You know what I mean. Okay. So nice and blended like so. Let me go back in with this pink shade in Ribs and just kind of like re-add back in some of that pink that we could have lost here doing the blending. And I'm also going to lay it down here kind of where my bag is a little bit. So I kind of have that brightness there, which I was going for. And then I'm going to go back in with the shade Fairy again, and I'm going to pop that right over the top of that pink on the inner corner and drag that downward and outward into the lower lash line there. And then I'm going to bring it up a little bit. I want it like so. So I want all that shine in there. I want the hyper sparkly lid. I want that nice rich outer corner. It's looking good. I'm going to do the other eye off camera and then we're going to move on to the next step. I have both of the eyes done, minus obviously mascara and brows, which is going to take 2 seconds, quite literally. What I am going to do I used my Milani Make It Last setting spray as a primer. And it seems to work for me. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. It works for me. I like it. I have no complaints. And I'm just going to go in with my About Face foundation in F2 Olive. I'm just going to apply all over, which is really simple. Like, it's nothing too crazy, you know. So, and buff that in. Easy step, you know, if you're going to wear foundation, it's definitely an easy step. So, while I'm doing this, I'm just curious, what are you guys doing for Christmas? And I'm curious, like, what it's been like for you. I work in a commission environment, so it's been hell for me. I haven't made any commission hardly, which sucks because that's how I make money, is through commission, through selling beauty products. And I'm not talking about through social media. I'm talking about, like, I go to a job in person. I sell things to make commission. And what I'm saying is that I'm not making anything. So I'm just curious what this year's been like for you. I'm curious what's been going on. I always like to hear other people's life perspectives and, you know, what's going on with their life. And I like to know, like, I like to get to know my audience and learn about them. Years ago, I had a TikTok audience that I saw almost every single evening, or like not every evening, but like most evenings. And I knew where they were from. I knew where they lived, like what state. I don't mean like their address. Like, it got to a point where we were going to hang out in real life. Like, and I'm not saying I need to hang out with everybody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I like to get to know people. I get to like to know their lives, their situations, and I just like to know things. Like, a part of doing this, I think, is more about creating relationships more so than anything. Like, I enjoy making these videos. I buy everything that I use in them. I don't make any money off of them. Could I? I could. I have plenty of affiliate links. Like, I am a Target partner. I am a Sigma partner. I am, I think, also a MAC affiliate. Like, I have an affiliate through most businesses, or a lot of businesses. But I choose right now to not really push those because I don't want to be perceived as like a selling machine. I want to be perceived as like a human being who's just doing what she enjoys doing, which is makeup, you know? I don't want people to come into my channel and be like, oh, another person trying to sell me something. Great. And then click off. Like, I am here to kind of build up my community. I am here to, you know, talk about things. Like, I wanted to start doing more like talking head videos like this, or like maybe talking specifically about like pop culture things. I want to diversify what I'm doing other than just tutorials. You know, I think doing only tutorials can be kind of boring too. Like, I think they're fun. I enjoy doing my makeup, and I mean, if I'm already gonna do my makeup, I might as well film it and show you how I did it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no rhyme or reason for me to not. Foundation is on. Damn, that is a good match. That is an amazing match. Okay. I'm just gonna wet my sponge like so. And how much time do I have left to get ready? I have 10 minutes. So we're just going to take 10 minutes here to kind of finish out what I got to do. So I wet my sponge because I do know that this concealer kind of sets fast, and I want to keep it as damp as possible just so I can get it blended in before it settles. Because once she sets, and then I'm screwed. I just want to I just want to apply the brightening concealer. And I'm also blending it into the oh my god, the eyeshadow. If you can notice, I'm kind of like bringing it up to the eyeshadow and pressing it into the eyeshadow too. And that's just, for me, a way to kind of blend it all together without creating any like harsh lines, because I don't want harsh lines at all anywhere. I want it to look seamless. So, right like that. Yeah. I think my sponge was a little too wet at first. Now it's fine. And right up to that blue, and I just kind of blend it into the blue. See? Beautiful. Do the same thing on this side. I don't like to clean up all of the under eye fallout, because I think, in my opinion, or in my experience, I should say, because it's more, my opinion is based on an experience, is that my under eyes look better, like where I blend my eyeshadow and everything looks better when I do it like this than the other way around where I do my foundation and then the eyeshadow. It just looks cleaner. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than everything just looks more seamless, more clean, better. Yeah. Then I'm going to pick up that shade Fairy again, and I want to make sure that I kind of bring it down into the eye bag a little bit. Even though I just laid down concealer there, I want to bring it all the way down. Like so. And blend it. All the way down and blend it. Okay. And I think that makes it really cute. The other thing I want to do is put a touch here and a touch here in the brow bone. Cute. Then the final touches really are going to be brows, and that's kind of really it. Brows and a little bit of blush. I have my MAC blush in the shade Harmony, and I actually like to wear it more as a contour than a blush. It's more like a blush tour for me. So I'm just going to apply it like a contour. It's like a pinky brown, but it's cool toned at the same time, which I quite enjoy. Yeah, like so. It's easy, it's simple, it looks good. It gives me a more sculpted look, which I like. Okay. Okay. And I'm just gonna like put the residue along the jawline, because I find that it makes my area here look more pinched in when I do that, and I like that look. And then right here, temples, easy peasy. Okay, yeah. And any too much? I got too much, okay. So I'm just using any leftover foundation I have to kind of soften where I put a little bit too much bronzer. Okay. So that looks good. The last thing I'm going to do is contour my nose. So I'm going to take the same shade in Harmony, and I'm going to take it on another one of these JC brushes. And I'm just going to go down the side of my nose very lightly, very gently on both sides. Like so. And I want to create like a slimmer looking bridge. That's just kind of like the look I go for when I'm going to do a full glam. I enjoy a more pinched in bridge. I think it's cute. It fits the aesthetic that I kind of go for. And then a little bit here on the top of my lip. A little bit at the bottom. Like so. And then I'm going to go around the tip. Yeah, like that. Like so. So I created like a rounded button nose shape. I kind of want a funky highlight. So this is his emotional support sponge. It looks disgusting. He stole one of my makeup sponges, and now he wants me to play fetch with him. Hey, wake up. Look at this. Oh my god. Go get it. I hit the ceiling with it. Whatever. I'm just going to use this beautiful color from this palette. Like, why wouldn't I just do that? No! It doesn't mean... Where's your sponge? What I'm going to do is just pick up that shade Fairy. No! Don't put your paw in the... Out of the eyeshadow with the paw. Jesus. My god. You would think that he's dying. Okay. So, I'm just going to apply that shade Fairy on the cheekbone, because why wouldn't I? Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Very pretty. Oh my god. That's immaculate. What do you mean? I like that. I don't have a shade like this that I use as a highlight, so I quite like this. It's almost like peachy, which is pretty cool. And I just kind of want to like add more. Yeah, there we go. I wanted to marry them together better. That is stunning. Okay. And then tip of the nose. I love a good tip of the nose highlight. A little bit on the lip and chin. Oh, it's so good. I just want it as like a highlight. Like I want a big giant pan of this just to wear it as a highlight. That's really pretty. Okay guys, this is gonna be the finished makeup look. What are we thinking? All I did off camera was add my lippy and mascara and a little bit of highlight. So it's the same thing that I used on the inner corner. I used it as a highlight and I am obsessed. It looks beautiful. So this is gonna be the makeup look I'm gonna wear to work today. Let's see how many people love and hate it, right? Who cares? And then the lippy is the Girl Cult G78, excuse me. And it's like from their Moira something witch something. And it's one of those like blur lip things. And it has a little bit of glitter in it, which also matches the glitter kind of in my eyes, I think. Just a little bit. Thanks for watching my Get Ready With Me. Thanks for getting ready with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you want to see more like a Get Ready With Me style, like chatty video, or if you just like straight to the point tutorials. I don't mind doing either. They're both fine for me. I sometimes forget to talk when it comes to like being chatty because I get so like sucked into whatever I'm doing. So just let me know what you're thinking. I can do either or. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Smash the notification bell so you don't miss an upload from me, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.